Nostradamus' name is substitutable with foreseeing the additional extended term. Michel de Notre Dame clothed to be purportedly a seer who becomes capable anticipate future. However, the factor he's by and by notable for, even a very little while once his death, is his pack of predictions, that, trust it or not, found out. Past prophecy, Michel de Notre Dame become a capable specialist, anyway what's a more questionable character, portrayed substantial authority and several qualities. He composed his first book, Les Prophéties, in 1555, and distributing bunches proof duplicates nowadays. Within the written substance of his book, each four-line square, alluded to as a stanza, endeavors to expect the additional drawn-out term. These predictions through Michel de Nostradamus frequently cast the world. Whereas sense might propose Nostradamus cases must follow to merely about any occasion, many of them return awfully on the terrible fringe of the important world. An unlimited Nostradamus expectations manages each current and all over again dateless catastrophes in stylish or will show one individual or city. Whereas several endeavors to ruin him, it's tough to not look over those forecasts that materialized. Given all that, here's a glance at an assortment of Michel de Notre Dame, most notable and right predictions and expectations, 9/11, prophecy, earth-shaking fire from the center of the earth will cause tremors around the new city. Two great rocks will war for a long time. Then Arethusa will redden a new river. Story, On September 11, 2001, two great rocks, the Twin Towers, of the Planet Trade Center were attacked in New City, New York City. Assassination of John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy: Prophecy, The great man will be struck down in the day by a thunderbolt. An evil deed foretold by the bearer of a petition. According to the prediction, another falls at night time. Conflict at Reims, long and a pestilence in Tuscany. Story, The great man, John F. Kennedy, received many death threats, an evil deed foretold by the bearer of a petition, and was gunned down within the afternoon of November 22, 1963, struck down within the day by a thunderbolt. Then Bobby Kennedy was killed just after midnight on June 5, 1968, another falls in the dead of night time. Bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, prophecy, near the gates and within two cities. There will be scourges the like of which was never seen. Famine within plague, people put out by steel. Crying to the great immortal God for relief. Story, In 1945, the USA dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, within 2 cities. Many endured the blast and suffered from radiation poisoning, crying to the nice immortal God for relief. The rise of Hitler, prophecy, from the depths of the west of Europe. A young child will be born of poor people. He who by his tongue will seduce a great troop. His fame will increase towards the realm of the east. Beasts ferocious with hunger will cross the rivers. The greater part of the battlefield will be against Hister. Into a cage of iron will the great one be drawn. When the child of Germany observes nothing. Story, Hitler was born on April 20, 1889, in Western Europe to very poor parents. From the depths of the west of Europe, a young child are born of poor people. Within the years after World War I, Hitler moved to Germany and rose as a frontrunner through his over-the-best oratory skills, who by his tongue will seduce a wonderful troop. Hitler drew an Axis alliance with Japan, his fame will increase toward the realm of the east. Then the German army invaded France, beasts ferocious with hunger will cross the rivers, and defeated by the Allied powers, the greater an element of the battlefield is against Hister. The French Revolution, prophecy, from the enslaved populace, songs, chants and demands. While princes and lords are held captive in prisons. These will in the future by headless idiots be received as divine prayers. Story, The peasants, enslaved populace, took control of Paris, and made enough of poor aristocratic rule. The aristocracy, princes and lords, were taken from power and locked within the Bastille, prisons, and beheaded at the guillotine, headless idiots. The Great Fire of London, prophecy, the blood of the just will be demanded of London. Burnt by fire in the year 66. The ancient lady will fall from her high place. And many of the same sect will be killed. Story, a small fire that started in an exceedingly very bakery in London on September 2, 1666, in the year 66, resulted in an exceedingly very 3-day blaze that consumed the town, burnt by fire. The blood of the just could sit down with the varied rats that were killed. The death of King Henry II, dash. Prophecy, dash. The young lion will overcome the older one. On the field of combat in a single battle. He will pierce his eyes through a golden cage. 2 wounds made 1, then he dies a cruel death. Story, dash. King Henry II, older one, of France lined up to joust, field of combat, the Comte de Montgomery, young lion, both had lion emblems on their shields. On their last pass, Montgomery's lance burst through the king's visor with 2 shards, 2 wounds made 1 through the eye, pierce his eyes through a golden cage, and 1 through the temple. King Henry II suffered for 10 days before dying in his bed, then he dies a cruel death. Discoveries of Louis Pasteur, dash. Prophecy, dash. The lost thing is discovered, hidden for many centuries. Pasteur will be celebrated almost as a godlike figure. This is when the moon completes her great cycle. But by other rumors he shall be dishonored. Story, dash. Louis Pasteur was a French microbiologist who invented a process for removing bacteria, pasteurization. But, in 1995, a historian showed he incorporated Arrival's findings to make his anthrax vaccine functional, thus partly dishonoring the scientist. Leadership of Charles de Gaulle, dash. Prophecy, dash. Hercules, king of Rome and of Anmark. With the surname of the chief of Triple Gaul, Italy, and the one of Saint Mark de Tremble. First monarch, renowned above all. Story, dash. Charles Solon was a 3-time leader of France, chief of Triple Gaul. First, Solon led the front forces during World War II. Then, he became Prime Minister of the Provisional Post-World War II government. Lastly, Solon was the first president of the French Fifth Republic. Except that this quatrain appears to have little else to undertake and do with the famous French politician. Earthquakes in Los Angeles and Lombardy, dash. Prophecy, dash. The sloping park great calamity. To be done through Hesperia and Insabria. The fire in the ship, plague and captivity. Mercury and Sagittarius Saturn will fade. Story, dash. Hesperia may be a city in California, USA along La, and Insabria may be an area along Lombardy in Italy. The sloping part can mean that a wonderful movement of the ground shall happen in these places. The rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, dash. Prophecy, dash. Pow, nay, Lauron will be more of fire than blood. To swim in praise, the great one to flee to the confluence of rivers. He will refuse entry to the Piuses. Pampon and the Durance will keep them confined. Story, dash. If the words pow, nay, Lauron an anagram, it can form the word Napoleon Roy, which can be interpreted as Napoleon, the king. The praise more of fireside than of blood is interpreted as Napoleon being an individual of war rather than royal lineage, because he wasn't a royal blood. The Piuses that were mentioned within the prophecy is about the 2 popes named Pius VI and Pontificate Napoleon imprisoned during his time. The Prophecies of Nostradamus, 1973. Rise of Corazon Aquino, dash. Prophecy, dash. For the Mary Maid the bright splendor will shine no longer, for long will she be without salt. With merchants, bullies, wolves odious. All confusion universal monster. Story, dash. Cory Aquino, being the Mary Maid within the prophecy, had the shine when he married a star, Ninoy Aquino. But this star doesn't shine anymore when he was murdered, and also the maid was given the task of a frontrunner of a nation. Aquino, being a homemaker, have no salt, no good sense, for trading or bargaining with other countries. The universal monster that was included during this prophecy is that the dearth of leadership that became the matter of the presidency of Mrs. Aquino, Pakak, 1995. Death of Princess Diana, dash. Prophecy, dash. The penultimate of the surname of the prophet will take Diana for his day and rest. He will wander far because of a frantic head. And delivering a great people from subjection. Story, dash. In this prophecy, Nostradamus again named the person he was born on. The owner of Herod's department, Dadi al-Fayed, had a father named Muhammad. Muhammad is the name of the prophet of the Muslim people. Dadi al-Fayed was with Diana up to the day the princess died. The other 2 lines were the effect of the death of the princess to her people, Cheatham, 1989. Reign of King Philip II of Spain, dash. Prophecy, dash. For 7 years Philip's fortunes will prosper. He will reduce the Arab army. Then, halfway through, things will perplexedly turn against him. A young onion will destroy his fortune. Story, Catholic King Philip II of Spain started ruling the country in 1556, and Spain became unbelievably wealthy for the first a component of his reign. 7 could also be interpreted biblically, meaning a very, very long time. His success, however, came to an unexpected halt in 1587 with the execution of Mary Queen of Scots, who was also Catholic. Her death ended his alliance with England. A year later, he tried to invade England along with his armada fleet of ships, but England thwarted him. The quatrain also hints at the Battle of Lepanto, where Spain slaughtered the fleet of the empire, a bit to the south inhabited by many Arabs. Philip would later concern Muslim expulsion from Spain. Lastly, the young onion refers to 36-year-old Henri IV of France, a Huguenot and thus, Protestant. He and Philip disagreed on religion and battled until Henri's death. World War II, Prophecy, Beasts ferocious with hunger will cross the rivers. The greater part of the battlefield will be against Hister. Into a cage of iron will the Great One be drawn. When the child of Germany observes nothing. Story, World War II started in 1939 and remains the most effective Holocaust that humanity has seen to the current day. It had been also the only war in human history that saw the utilization of WMD. Moon landing, Prophecy, He will come to travel to the corner of Luna, where he will be captured and put in a strange land. The unripe fruits to be a subject of great scandal. Great blame, to one, great praise. Story, Many believe this prophecy to be foretelling the moon mission conducted in 1969. Apollo 11 carried spaceman, first man on the moon, and Buzz Aldrin to the moon. Brexit, Prophecy, Near a great bridge near a spacious plain. The great lion with the imperial forces will cause a falling outside the austere city. Through fear the gates will be unlocked for him. Story, The raised wall represents Great Britain, which is ready to depart the EU Union in 2020 and may trigger economic collapse. This decision will influence be historical, and it should cause the autumn of the United Kingdom because Wales, Scotland, and European countries don't trust the withdrawal of the United Kingdom from the EU Union. His own death, Prophecy, On his return to his home from the embassy having secured the king's gift. He will be no more, his spirit having returned to God. Nearby will be his close family, his friends and his brothers. He will be found dead near the bed and the bench. Story, His family found him dead, contact the bottom of his room. So ebbed away one among the most effective wise men ever sent to humanity by the Almighty God himself. He was buried within the traditional temple of the Miner brothers in France, within the walls of the Saint-Laurent church. His coffin was sealed into the walls but standing up. His son Caesar had an epitaph composed in his honor. It's an epitaph befitting a superb man who was a superb seer, an unusual clairvoyant, a wise man, and perhaps a very unusual prophet.